we are experiencing right now the greatest moment in this rivalry maybe ever, and everything is on the line for Ohio State. They don't have one player that has beaten Michigan, and for Michigan, they don't have a single player that has lost to Ohio State. And so as we start to build towards this game, you have to understand that the pressure on Ohio State is immense. And in the Michigan locker room, all they're going to be talking about all week is give us a chance in the second half. All we've got to do is be close. That's all they're going to be thinking about. That's all they've been thinking about for back to 2021 when we went in for meetings before that game. Aiden Hutchinson said that specifically to me. He said, Joel, I just want a chance. I just want it to be a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. That's all I want. And they ended up winning. And then subsequently, that's all Jim Harbaugh would talk about in the subsequent years. And, hey, we just want to be close. We just want to be close. We just want to be close in the second half. And that's exactly where this Michigan team is going to be.
We want to be close. We want to be close. That should be the message yelled across the room for both teams. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about how Ohio State is desperate to finally beat Michigan in their rivalry game. Remember, Ohio State has not beaten Michigan since the 2019 season. In fact, Ryan Day has a 1-4 record against Michigan as Ohio State's head coach. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Will Ryan Day finally overcome his losing streak against Michigan? I believe so. I believe 2025 will be the year Ohio State will finally be able to beat Michigan for the first time in this decade. Ever since the year turned 2020, Ohio State has not been able to beat Michigan, whether it has been at Ohio State or at Michigan. It hasn't really mattered the location. Ohio State every year has found a way to lose to Michigan. It seems like Michigan has always had Ohio State's number in recent memory. In 2021, when Michigan beat Ohio State for the first time in forever, I was absolutely shocked and said to myself, I can't believe what I'm witnessing. Jim Harbaugh finally found a way to beat Ohio State, and he did it by calling a lot of running plays, and Ohio State got worn out by the run game. In 2022, what happened? Michigan went into Ohio State and then beat them. That was pretty embarrassing for Ohio State fans. They couldn't absolutely stomach the thought of losing to Michigan that year, but that's exactly what happened. And then in 2023, Ohio State went into Michigan and lost to their place. That was the year where Michigan won the national championship. Quarterback play for Ohio State absolutely sold them that year. Kyle McCord was a complete liability. However, in 2024, Ohio State found a way to lose to Michigan at home despite being 20-point favorites at home. That was because they came up with a terrible game plan. Chip Kelly came up with a horrible game plan for Ohio State offensively. Chip Kelly thought that it was a good idea to keep running the ball against Michigan, which plays right into Michigan's strengths. Michigan was very good at stopping the run that year, and Ohio State was great at passing the ball. So why didn't Chip Kelly think that it was a good idea to throw the ball against Michigan's defense? Obviously, Chip Kelly is no longer Ohio State's offensive coordinator. He just finished getting fired by the Las Vegas Raiders. Now they have a new offensive coordinator in place. His name is Brian Hartline. I have loved what Brian Hartline has done for Ohio State's offense. He has turned their offense into more of a physical unit. They run the football really well. They got 3 running backs they can rely on in the running game, and in the passing game, they got the best wide receiver in college football in Jeremiah Smith. Julian Sayin has been elite at throwing the football to Jeremiah Smith. And it's not just Jeremiah Smith that has been contributing in the receiving game. There's been other weapons for Ohio State in the passing game to rely upon. On paper, this is a game Ohio State should win going away. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't, but I do think that this game is going to be close. But I really do think that Ohio State will find a way to come out of this game victorious. I also want to show you guys this clip of Joel Klatt talking about what the message for Ohio State should be. Obviously, a lot of these players on Ohio State has never beaten Michigan in any sort of way. They have to figure out a way how to overcome their demons against Michigan. Roll the film.
And then on the other side for Ohio State, they're going to be saying to themselves, focus on us, focus on us, focus on us. Those are the two messages for those teams for this massive game. I love this game. It's my favorite thing that I get to do in this profession. I love this game. I love this rivalry, and it's finally here. This is the best week of the college football season. We are experiencing right now the greatest moment in this rivalry maybe ever, and everything is on the line. I firmly believe, although we'll see what the playoff committee gives us on Tuesday night, I firmly believe that we're sitting here now watching this game where Michigan needs a win to go to the playoff. Ohio State needs a win to go compete for a Big Ten championship. Nobody on Ohio State's team has gold pants or a Big Ten championship. That's crazy. They haven't been to Indy since 2020.
Correct! You called it, Joel Klatt. You were absolutely right in what you said about Ohio State. I agree with everything Joel Klatt had to say regarding Ohio State football and what their message should be to the team. If you're Ohio State, you have got to come out of this game aggressive. It's not going to be easy. You have to throw out the records. Yes, I know Ohio State is ranked #1 in the country. Yes, I know Ohio State is undefeated, but just because you're undefeated and #1 in the country this late into the season, that doesn't mean a damn thing against a team like Michigan, because when you're playing against your biggest rivals, you have to throw out all the records. It's just in this game, in this moment, and if you're Ohio State, you have to figure out how to play like this is a normal game, but at the same time, you have to understand the importance of this game. You have to understand that you have to establish your identity early and often. The good news for Ohio State is that they are much better at running the football than they were last year, which is pretty crazy to say because they had 2 NFL running backs in Quishon Judkins and Travion Henderson, but obviously this year, they look like they are a much more physical team up the middle, which means that they are more capable of running the football against a good Michigan defense. I know that Michigan only has 2 losses this year, but they are perfectly capable of beating Ohio State, especially at home. They're going to have the home crowd right behind them, and obviously Bryce Underwood is an inexperienced quarterback. If I'm Ohio State, I want to make sure Bryce Underwood is throwing as many passes as possible. Matt Patricia is the Ohio State defensive coordinator. He's had a phenomenal year calling plays for Ohio State's defense. Caleb Downs has been the best safety in the country, and if you're Caleb Downs, you have got to figure out a way to continue being the best safety in the country, which means being able to cover really well and being able to fill in your run gaps effectively. Make sure that Michigan cannot run the football. I know if you're Michigan, you want to run the ball, and then run the ball. That's how you've beaten Michigan the last 4 times. Ryan Day should be saying to himself all week, we have got to stop the run at all costs, and we have to make Bryce Underwood beat us in the passing game. Can Bryce Underwood do that? Maybe, but he's not shown to be capable of that, at least at this current moment. He's only thrown for 9 touchdowns all year, which tells me he's not really capable of stretching the field. You want to put Michigan in 3rd and long situations. If Ohio State does that, then I like their chances of winning. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think Ohio State is going to win time possession. They're going to be able to run the football effectively. They're going to rely on Jeremiah Smith. Julian Sayin is going to have an efficient game, and if the game's close, I trust Julian Sayin more than I do for Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is just too inexperienced to be winning college football games of this magnitude. Ohio State is the #1 team in the country for a reason. They have got to show it out there tomorrow. They're going to do exactly that. Ohio State will win ugly. They will beat Michigan by the score of 17-14. Caleb Downs is going to get the game-sealing interception, and Ohio State will be able to finally beat Michigan for the first time since 2019. Ryan Day will find a way to get his 2nd win against Michigan in his coaching career. So that is why Ryan Day will finally overcome his losing streak against Michigan, as I have Ohio State beating Michigan by the score of 17-14. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.